What's good, Cowboys Nation? Oof, Lord, these these suckers, boy. I impromptu, man. I just had to jump on here. I just listened to a bunch of shit on YouTube. I try my best not to listen to, you know, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Dan Orlovskis, and the 3 and 4 letter networks. I mean, LaShawn Shady Turtle, Ninja Turtle McCoy is no longer on TV, so that's one dude I ain't got to contend with. I don't really care. Well, let's talk about this, man. This won't be a long one. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by it. I'm annoyed by it all. Okay, I'm annoyed by it. So I just listened to an excerpt from First Take, and of course the segment was about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons leaving, and it was about a certain someone who didn't speak up for him. I mean, I don't know. Stephen A is a fucking moron. You want me to tell you he's a moron? So he goes out of his way to say, well, I mean, it's about time Dak said something worth saying when he said, I'm shocked that the trade happened. I'm shocked that nothing was done, but I'm not surprised with how personal it got that the move happened. This dude is speaking from experience. 4 times in his career, he had to fight for his coin. 4 years in his career. First 2, he was franchise tagged twice. Okay. Then he was made the highest paid at $40 million, which didn't last long because Patty Mahomes got his bread directly afterwards. Joe Burrow got his bread directly afterwards, but he had to fight for his coin. Going into 2024, he was set for another contract, and the way the Cowboys do, smear campaign. Ultimately, Dak got his bread. CD, smear campaign. Ultimately, CD got his bread. So what made you think that it would be different with Micah Parsons? I don't think any of us in Cowboys Nation would have thought that we would have traded Micah Parsons. I didn't think so because I was one of the ones saying, "Oh, we know how the Joneses do. They sit here and they run a smear campaign." You know what I'm saying? And I need to see leadership. I need to see this. I need to see that. Yada yada yada. And then at the final hour, poof, he signed. So from what I understand, let me throw in what I know. What I know about this whole thing was in March they had a conversation. The numbers were 5 years, 200 million guaranteed. Michael wanted his agent involved. That's where Micah made his mistake. Was having a conversation without his agent present. That's where Jerry made the mistake, having a conversation without an agent present. Okay, so that's on both sides. No one is absolved here. No one on both sides. No one is absolved here. So, of course, we hear the whole. David told us to shove the joint up our ass. If that's what he said, that's what he said. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at it now, once they did come back to the table, Jerry said, where I ended the conversation as far as monies is concerned, they started the conversation. So meaning where I was okay with the bread that was concerned, they wanted to start there. So if his was 5 years, 200 million, fully guaranteed, that means it's a $40 million plus. Okay. Plus incentives, plus your endorsements, plus the star. I mean, let's be honest, the star gets you a lot more than what the Packers do, but whatever. They wanted more. David Mulligetta wanted to push for more. Fair, because you're the agent of the player. Fair. But if you're telling me that you want to be a Cowboy forever, if you want to be a Cowboy to end your career, then you're going to take what's offered, right? I would think. But this is not a smear campaign on Micah Parsons. This is not about that. This is not about Micah Parsons. This is not about Jerry Jones. This live feed here right now is about the 3 and 4 letter networks who like to reach. Okay, so Dak said, "I'm surprised. I'm surprised that we didn't retain him, but I'm not surprised that we moved on with how personal it got." Those words. So then I just listened to an excerpt from Stephen A. Smith on YouTube, and Stephen decided he wanted to come out his mouth and say, "This is Dak's fault. You got your money. You were able to get your coin. You spoke up when it was about you. You couldn't speak up for Michael Parsons." I think we all heard in the offseason Dak say, "Oh, no, I think Mike is doing the right thing. I think he's doing the right thing. He has a lot more to lose than to gain. If he was to come out in OTAs, minicamp, all that training camp and all that in practice, and then get hurt, that diminishes his value. That diminishes his value, which in turn will make the Joneses really lowball your ass." So Dak was right. You're doing the right thing. You're going about it the right way. Continue doing what you're doing. Had he have known that it was going to get this personal, I'm pretty sure he would have had another message. And to say that you're the quarterback, so you have a lot of influence, you can go to Jerry Jones. Do you not realize? Hey, get him out of here. You already know how we get down. We don't do no pigeon work up here. This is pigeon week. This is pigeon week. We shooting. We shooting. I don't care. I don't give a good goddamn how many pigeon fans come in here. If they want to be nice about life, get them out of here. I don't give a damn. Damn the pigeons. I don't get down on no pigeons. I have a few friends. I have a few pigeon friends. You know what I'm saying? I have a few pigeon friends. So we will be nice if I see them. But for the rest of these motherfuckers, get them out of here. What's going on with you, JVB boy? I'm glad you're here with me. It's just amazing to me how at every turn it turns into, at least with Stephen A., how it turns into, oh, well, Dak Prescott. Yeah, well, Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott, he got his money. Stephen A., didn't you just get your money? Hey, get him the fucking, if he asking for it, give him what he asking for. I ain't mad at you. I am not mad at you, bro. You know what I'm saying? How can you sit here and come at a dude who may or may not have influence in the building about another dude who also has same said influence in the building? Because just six short months ago, they was rubbing elbows at the Super Bowl. 6 short months ago, they was rubbing elbows at the national championship, enjoying a hot dog and a beer. How can you say that? How can you expect an employee to go at the boss? Stephen A., you say you've gotten so many people there back. Well, how come I don't see Swagoo anymore? I very rarely see Ryan Clark. As much of a fan of RG3, I am not. I don't see RG3 anymore. And he actually had some pretty good takes. Man, I'm starting to think he has like a love obsession with this dude, man. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Like every time I turn around, it's Stephen A. saying something about, and the conversation doesn't have to be about Dak Prescott. The conversation is about Jerry Jones, Michael Parsons. Are we going to say anything about Deron Bland getting this coin? Are we going to say something about Jake Ferguson getting this coin? No, you're not going to say nothing about that. You're just going to come at Dak Prescott. For what? For what? This dude has a game in 4 days, 3.5 days. We got to go play them pigeons. We got to go play the rats with wings. Dak said it right. If he'd have been signed, you'd have came at me with a bunch of more stupid questions. The fact that he's not signed, you're coming at me with stupid. The job is done. It's done. It's done. He's gone. So can we just focus on football? You and me both, bro. I'm definitely ready for this game. I am definitely ready for this game. More ready than you know. I don't know if I'll be able to get out to the stadium because I know I have to work, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the game. I'm ready for the season to start. I have high hopes for this team. Do I expect them to go out and win the Super Bowl? No, come on, let's be honest here. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Just like there's an element of surprise for the league, there's also an element of surprise for us. We could be so good that we go 17-0. We could be so bad that we go 0-17. We don't know. We don't know. But what I do know is, with the way that this roster is formed, we're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. That's what I do know, 100%, with or without Micah. Understand this. Who was it? It was the big dude, not Swagoo, the other dude. He said, what did he say out of his mouth? He said, the way we've been going about training camp this offseason, Micah wasn't even there, or Micah wasn't even participating. So all the things that we've been doing, getting this team ready, was without Micah Parsons. We've already been preparing for life without Micah Parsons. I've said it a few times in a few lives. Prepare for life without Micah Parsons. If we don't sign him immediately, and we do intend to sign, prepare for life without Micah Parsons. It's sort of like during the draft when I said, prepare yourself for life without Ashton Genty. Go about your business the way you go about your business, whether they're there or not. Prepare for life without him. Well, Mike is not here. Are you prepared for life without him? We'll find out. We will find out. We will find out soon enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go too long on a tangent about old Stephen A. Smith, because it seems like he's just mad that Dak Prescott ain't won a Super Bowl, but he's getting paid more than cats who won the Super Bowl, sort of like Justin Herbert, who gets paid more than Jalen Hurts, who won the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, who's getting paid more than Jalen Hurts, who won the Super Bowl. Jordan Love, who got paid more than Jalen Hurts, never won the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. You're just mad. You're mad because he's a Cowboy. You're mad because Dak is a Cowboy. I do too, man. This linebacker group is something to behold. I really want to see how Flus dials up blitzes, how he dials up the coverage schemes. I want to see how he actually dials up pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too worried about stopping the run that everybody else is worried about. I mean, because I think if you look at the numbers, last year was our worst year. Shout out to my man Law Nation. He had something on X. I think I have he has something on X. What's going on? CFT in the building. My guy. I'm happy to have you, man. You know what? Fuck that. Listen. Life ain't right if Law come in the stream and he ain't a mod. Damn all that shit. My man's got to be a mod. You deserve it. You deserve it more than almost anybody. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But again, shout out to my man Law Nation. He put up a graphic yesterday. I'm working out the kinks, Rome. He put up a graphic yesterday. I'm just going to read it off because it's on my phone. The Cowboys run defense rankings, okay, from 2017 to 2024. We were 8th in 2017. We averaged giving up 104 yards a game. You know what I'm saying? 2018, we were 5th. You know what I'm saying? We gave up 96.3. In 2019, we were 11th, 102. 2020 was our worst year. was our worst year. We gave up 158. That was the COVID year. You know what I'm saying? We understand that the COVID year was just a bad year for almost everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was sort of like the Lakers winning their bubble chip. You know, I don't take no stock in that. You know what I'm saying? 2021, we had a better showing. We dropped down to 16th, or we went up to about 16th, giving up 112, 113. 2022, we were at 22nd with 129. 2023, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. 2023, we were 16th in the league in stopping the run at 108 at 118 yards per game. All right. And then 2024, we were at 30th. Dak Gones, what's the deal, my guy? Nah, you cool, man. Damn, that better late than never. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like, share, subscribe, man. You know, helps the channel grow. Support your brother. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I really do. So if you look at it, you know, for the many of guys, for the many of people say, oh, we can't stop the run. I'm looking at 2, maybe 3 seasons where we really couldn't stop the run. And that was 2020, 2022, and 2024. I'm looking at 3 years where we legitimately could not stop the run. I want to tell you now, every team gets gashed. Every team gets ran on. Some teams do better than others. You know what I'm saying? Those years, those down years where we had, you know, 31st ranked, 22nd ranked, 30th ranked. What they won't tell you is in 2022, even though we were 22nd, we only got ran on horribly in a few games. We really didn't give up many rushing yards in every game. There was games where I seen dudes get held to 66 yards, i.e. Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? There was games where we got gashed on the edges, not up the middle, on the edges, i.e. Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying? And the New Orleans game. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery in the Lions game last season. You know what I'm saying? We have our games where we're not very good at stopping the run because we're not prepared. We have our games where we don't stop the run because we're not setting the edges. We have our bad times. We do. But we're not the only ones. I've seen the Eagles get ran on something crazy last season. Quite a few games. Quite a few games. That Tampa Bay game, they got destroyed in the run. They did. Most people won't tell you that. Every team goes through it. Now, do you have the discipline to fix that? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. I hope we do have the discipline to fix that, especially this year, because it seems like in every odd year, we do a lot better in the run than we do in even years. You don't believe me? Let's check it out. With the exception of 2018, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're much better with Kenny Clark in the middle. Do we have the discipline to set the edges? That's what it comes down to. It's not just the middle. As much as we all poo-poo on Mozzie Smith, let's be honest. Most of the times where we got beat down was on the edges. We couldn't set the edge. We couldn't. And as much as I love Michael Parsons, he was a part of that. He was a part of that, where we couldn't set the edge. Let's be honest. It wasn't so much running up the gut that we had to deal with unless it was Derrick Henry. That game was different. Cornerbacks, linebackers, DNs set the edge. Here's the problem. Again, Michael was a part of that. I've seen the boss put out film last night or the day before where he was showing how we didn't set the edge. Where you had DeMarcus Lawrence shooting in, but you can tell that it was going to be an outside run, so he loses leverage. Because you see the tight end break out. You see the tight end break out, that's where you go. Hence why I'm really big on seeing what Maris Leofau can do. Because if you watch Maris Leofau in the preseason, Maris Leofau was not only setting the edge, he may overshoot sometimes, but he'll make the running back think, and he'll make them cut back in where there's more personnel. You know what I'm saying? Like when we're looking at the game in totality, we have to understand that every man has a job. And one aspect, Michael was right last season. I think it was what was it? After the Atlanta game where Michael was talking about we got a bunch of superheroes. Everybody want to be the superhero, but nobody wants to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Well, unfortunately, Michael, you were one of them. No shade to the man, because generational talent he is. Generational pass rusher he is. Is he a defensive end? That's the question. Nick Bosa is a defensive end. Myles Garrett is a defensive end. Max Crosby is a defensive end. Trey Hendrickson is a defensive end. You run the ball their way, you're liable to get stopped. You're liable to lose yardage. You're liable to only gain 1 to 2 yards. When the Cowboys played, they planned to run on the edges, run the ball at them. We're going to double and triple team them anyway. Run the ball at them. That's where the problem lies. It wasn't necessarily always in the center. It wasn't necessarily the DTs who were the issue. We've seen Osa make plays. In fact, we've seen Osa do so many good things, he got paid for it. And he's on par with a Super Bowl winning DT. Same exact numbers. Maybe a point off here and a point off there. Same exact numbers. 4 sacks, 4 or 5 sacks, 7, 8, 9 tackles for loss, however many pressures. We've seen these DTs play good ball. We haven't seen our edges play good ball, DeMarcus Lawrence included. And here's the crazy part. He was our best run-stopping DN. We've seen him make good plays in the Seattle game in 2023. We didn't really get to see him make really good plays in 2024 because he was injured for most of the season. We didn't get him. I think we lost him in like week 3, week 4, and that was it. We didn't see him again. That right there should tell you Marshawn Nealon was a rookie last season. Marshawn Nealon was just coming in the building. He had a lot to learn. So to sit here and think that the defensive interior is the issue, even Jerry Jones saying it, like, yeah, we wanted to stop the run, so we got Kenny Clark along in that trade. Good. I'm glad you went out and did something worth doing. You went out and got a pretty damn good DT. You did. You're going to give Mozzie somebody to learn from. More importantly, you're giving Jay Thawia somebody to learn from. That's who you want to learn, Jay Thawia. You're giving Jay Thawia somebody to learn behind, which is good for his development. Where y'all screwed up with Mozzie with Jonathan Hankins. Where y'all screwed up with Tyler Guyton with Tyron Smith. It's like you're making up for lost time. Cool. Better late than never. I'm all for it. But now that you're thinking this way, think that way in other spots. I believe so too as well, JVB boy. I believe so too. I love Jay Thawia. I like him coming out of UCLA. That dude, he has a different pedigree. And I'm of the belief if you ain't got a Sam Owen on your squad, whether it be offensive lineman or defensive lineman, you're going to have some trouble. I'm glad we got him. It's like I said it before. Most people scoffed at me. I'm going to say it again, especially learning behind Kenny Clark. We have our own personal Vita Vea. We have our own personal Vita Vea. Once having him learn behind Kenny Clark, once he understands leverage, how to go from speed to power to speed, hit the gaps the way you're supposed to hit them, like Diddy did Meek Mills. You know what I'm saying? Once he learns how to hit them gaps, you know what I'm saying, the right way, he's going to be a problem. His get off is better than Mozzie's was. I said it once, I'll say it again. Jay Toria coming in this year was, I know, crazy. My bad. My bad. But Jay Toria coming in this season, take that. Jay Toria coming in this season, particular, was more NFL ready than what Mozzie was coming in. Jay Toria has strength. Jay Toria has get off. Jay Toria is a true one tech. Jay Toria is a true one tech. I've seen it in the preseason. I mark my words. Within the next 3 weeks, you're going to see him make some noise. Mark my words. Is it going to be in the tune of pressures or sacks? No, not at all. Not at all. That's where Kenneth Murray and Maris Leofau come in. That's where Jack Sanborn and Damone Clark come in. That's where Shamar James comes in. That's your pressure. That's your sacks. That's your tackles for loss. The impact Jay Toria is going to make is going to be strictly because he garners a lot of attention. He might get a sack or two, which is going to force the offensive line to say, hey, that dude is different. He's not like we faced last year. He's not like we faced the year before. This dude is different. We have to game plan for him. Jay Toria can blow up a game. Mark my words, that's going to happen. But I got off topic for a second. Stopping a run. It ties into the DT. 2018, we were 5th. Very, very good. We were stopping a run under 100 yards a carry. Okay. That's an even year, but let's go over to the odd years. 2017 we were 8th. 2019, we were 11th. 2021, we were 16th. 2023, we were 16th. A little over 100 yards, a little over 100 yards a game, 112, 129, respectively. I don't think that we will see another season with Kenny Clark here teaching the younger guys and having Eberflus here, who's always had a top 10 run, a top 10 defense. And he's always been, his defenses have been good at containing the run. I'm not going to say stop because there's no way you can stop the run. Okay. You can't, unless we're playing the Giants again and we hold them to 2.6 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way you're going to stop the run. You can contain it. You can minimize it, but you're not going to stop it because if teams really want to run on you, they're going to. Once they figure out one of your weak areas, they're going to run on you. It's just up to you to contain it. Can the linebackers fill the gaps that the DTs and the DNs, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Dominique Pittman? How you, bro? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Can the linebackers and the DEs and your nickel corner and your outside corners and your safety fill the way that they're supposed to fill? Can they? If they can't, it's going to be a long season. But I have a feeling it's going to be a little different this season. Donovan Wilson was named the captain. I agree, but I don't agree. Here's why I agree. Dono can play the run. Dono can fill. Dono is a missile. He is. One of my biggest issues with Donovan Wilson is he can't cover. I can't trust him in coverage. Looking at how the safeties got beat down last season, not only in the Saints game, but the Atlanta game. I'm not now unless Eberflus intends to interchange these guys constantly. You know what I'm saying? You know, switch it up on the offense. You know what I'm saying? Interchange these guys constantly. That's the only way I see it happening. Because we know for a fact Marquise Bell can cover. We know for a fact Wanye Thomas can cover. He can cover and he can play the run. And that's one of my biggest issues. Donovan Wilson has to cover Dallas Goedert. Has to. Now, there is a way to mitigate that. Because look at the linebackers we have. These linebackers aren't like the linebackers we had of old, minus Overshown, Maris Leofau, minus those guys. You know what I'm saying? Maris, bigger, faster. His reading plays better. I don't see why he can't cover. Shamar James, although young, great instincts, and I think he can cover. I think he can cover. He had a couple of interceptions in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Jack Sanborn, not so much. I'm not gonna like. I like Jack Sanborn. Jack Sanborn is probably a linebacker's linebacker. You know what I'm saying? you want to be honest, man? This kid came in like a shameless plug to to Hannah Montana. This dude came in like a wrecking ball. You know what I'm saying? He really did. Injured. Literally spent the entire of 2023 season on the bench, you know, rehabbing, all that. Came back in 2024 like a fucking wrecking ball. like he came in and showed what we were missing when he was out his first year. What did he play? 12, 13 games and ended up getting injured again. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody throw some shade at him. He needs to stop being so fragile. I'm sorry, but when you take a helmet to the knee, that's not being fragile. That's not being fragile. Just like when a hamstring pops off your bone, that's not being injury prone. That's not. Those are freak things that happen. I guess nobody remembers when who was the left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers when he rammed Van Der Esch's head neck first into Michael Parsons' ribs. Don't tell me that Van Der Esch was injury prone. That's some crazy shit that happened. He literally used this man, you know what I'm saying, as one of those things that the cops use to bust in your door, a ram. So I'm not going to sit here and act like this kid's injury prone. This is just some unfortunate shit that happens. This is called football. And the fact that it's called football, just like you can get injured, you can come back healthy. You don't believe me? Ask Trayvon Diggs. A lot of people are giving Trayvon flack. He lost 500K. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, if he was in the building, yada, 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 working with our staff. All right, working with your staff. It was last September when Savone Revel tore his ACL. And I believe a few other things, ACL, MCL, PCL, something like that. And that was last September. That was a year ago. Trayvon may not have attacked his rehab with the Cowboys when he was injured after tearing his ACL in practice, week 3. You know what I'm saying? Week 3 of last year? Or no, the year before. He may not have attacked his rehab well in 2023. In 2024, he tries to play on it, re-injures, or it just didn't get better. So then he sits again, and this time he has the bright idea after seeing his brother go work with a certain somebody and come back fully healthy, ready to attack the world. Now, if you look at Trayvon Diggs, we were at first glance, we were expecting Trayvon to be back week 10, week 11, week 12, around the same time DeMarvion was coming back. That's what we were projecting. Well, Trayvon Diggs might be back week 1. It's about how you work. It's about how you attack your rehab. It's about who you rehab with. Now, this coaching, this medical staff, this rehab group might work very, very well for DeMarvion Overshow. It just didn't work well for Trayvon Diggs. I am happy we got Isaiah Land back. I was hot when we let him go. I was hot when he didn't clear waivers. I was hot. I'm glad he's back. I like Isaiah Land. I watched this film coming out of an HBCU. The he's smart. He's got instincts. He may not be the biggest guy, but He can lay the lumber. He can lay the lumber. So I'm very interested in seeing how that works out. They were asking if DeMarvion came back. I think Nick Harris, shout out to Nick Harris. I think he asked this question. If when DeMarvion comes back, does the coaching staff see him playing on the edge? I don't want that. That's not a superpower. That's not his superpower. His superpower is a linebacker. His superpower is the unknown for the offense. All right, we know DeMarvion's on the field. Is he going to cover? Is he going to spy? Or is he going to attack? Eberflus likes an attack front, not just four. He said attack front. Do we say the back seven? No, we say the front seven. There is no back seven. It's your back four. 2 corners, 2 safeties. Unless you have a nickel. 3 corners, 2 safeties. All in all, it's a front 7. His superpower is in the linebacker spot, not on the edge. I don't want any more hybrids. I want specialists. I want specialists in their respective spots. Who was it? Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean goes down or whatever. 2023. Nakobe Dean goes down. Question marks, will the Eagles do this or do that? So what do the Eagles do in 2024? They go out and they scour the NFL and they do exactly what the Joneses do. Now, let me make this absolutely clear. Let me make this absolutely clear, okay? There is no way you can tell me that we are the only team that scours a practice squad, that gets bargain basement talent, when there was Zach Bourne sitting out there playing special teams for the Saints in 2023. You can't tell me this dude was projected to be an all-pro coming out of being in the Saints as a special teamer. You can't tell me that. But what you can tell me is he's a specialist. He's a linebacker, a true linebacker. So when they picked him up understanding that he is a true linebacker. It didn't matter how much money they paid him. It didn't matter how much money he was making. He was making nothing but chips with the Saints. They understood the player they were getting, just like we understand James Houston, just like we understand Maris Leofau, Shamar James, just like we understand Kaiir Elam, Deron Bland, who just got his check. Congrats to him. I'm hoping to see more pick sixes in the future. To sit here and actually think that we are the only team that goes bargain basement shopping, you're out of your mind. Chidobe Awuzie. Was he highly touted? Was he somebody that we really want? No. But he went to Cincinnati. We weren't paying him much. He was bargain basement. Anthony Brown, considered bargain basement. CJ Goodwin, considered bargain basement. The only difference is we understood the players. Wherever they went, they didn't understand them. Hence why Cedric Wilson didn't get much burn in Miami. Noah Brown is probably the only one that's been understood. He went to Houston, lit it up. He went to Washington, having a pretty good career so far. After leaving the Cowboys, having a pretty good career. Can't argue with it. Say what you want about the man. What he did for us wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? But he's doing something elsewhere. Cool. Your career's going on. So when we go and get a Kenneth Murray, when we go and get a Jack Sanborn, the fans on the outside looking in are saying, oh man, that's a bargain basement. This is all we ever do. We just get whoever. We just get the bargain basement guys. How is it that we're sitting here screaming to the rafters for Kenny Clark, Mind you, he's a veteran, you know what I'm saying? A very accomplished veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler, you know what I'm saying? Very accomplished, who just ran down on us in 2023, gave us hell, you know what I'm saying? To sit here and bang the drum for that guy, but we can't bang the drum after we've seen what Zach Bond is, after we've seen what Zach Bond can do when you take it seriously, when you understand the player. I'm banging the drum for all these dudes because they're Cowboys. I'm banging the drum for Nate Thomas. I want him to have a successful game. I want him to keep Dak upright. I'm banging the drum for Tyler Booker. I'm banging the drum for Cooper Beebe. I'm banging the drum for Tyler Smith. And I know for a fact, I said it once and I'll say it again, Jalen Carter cannot fuck with Tyler Smith. It's been proven. We've seen it. Tyler Smith is the second best O-lineman in the league. Best guard, second best O-lineman in the league. In the league. I can't even quantify how many offensive linemen there are. You know what I'm saying? I can't even quantify it. But to say that he's the second best O-lineman in the league, that's centers, guards, tackles. Shit, tight ends, even if they're on the O-line. Yeah. Second best O-lineman in the league. I think behind Penei Sewell. That says something. That says something. Mind you, when he first came in, we weren't sure. He had penalty issues, holding issues, and this and that. Now look at him. I think he's a 2 to 3-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler almost every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got something. Let's not pump our brakes hyping up Tyler Guyton. Let's not pump our brakes doing that. Did I expect him to come in looking like Tyron Smith? Hell no. You're kidding yourself. There's only one Tyron Smith, just like there's only one Zach Martin. But I'm going to tell you this, there's only one Tyler Booker. He's going to show y'all something. Tyler Booker got an edge to him. Will he be perfect? No, he's a rookie. He's going to get baptized. Someone's going to get him. Understand, someone is going to get him. How do you bounce back? How do you bounce back? Donovan Ezeraku, we know what his bag looked like. We know what his bag looked like. He's going to get got too. He's going to get got. He's a rookie. He's learning. That's why you have him. That's why you have those guys working behind someone to learn from. Dante Fowler Jr. That means something. Sam Williams even. Sam Williams got a scrap to him that's bar none. I would love to see that scrap come Thursday. Rome, you already said it. No one is in Sam's way. No one is in Sam's way. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder no more because nobody's in his way. Now it's his time to show up and show out. All this talk about Dak Prescott being this and being that. Listen, every year, even this year, more than any, this offseason, I've heard Rome say it. I've heard Law say it. I've watched Girls Talk, Boys Talk. I've watched The Break. I watched Talking Cowboys, and they all echo the same thing. If 4 goes down, we're going into draft talk. Not once did I hear anybody say, if we lose Micah Parsons, we're going into draft talk. Your defense is more than one player, even though your offense is more than one player as well. But you need your QB1 in order to keep the cog moving correctly, in order to keep the clock going. You do. So CD proved to me last season that he is quarterback proof. Now, will he have the same success Will he have the same gaudy numbers that he did with Dak? No, he showed that too. He didn't have the same gaudy numbers. Granted, he was injured. He had a AC joint sprain. You know what I'm saying? So no, he didn't have the same gaudy numbers. But to still get over 1,000 with a backup quarterback, that's quarterback proof. We already know George Pickens is quarterback proof. He's had a litany of shitty quarterbacks. He's had a litany of them. Mason Rudolph. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he did. He showed it. 2023 losing to Green Bay, as shitty as this may sound, was good for CD. 2023 getting bullied by Green Bay for CD. True. He was limited by, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Hence, Mingo. 2023 getting bullied by Jair Alexander was good for CD. He needed that. That's called humility. When you get punched so good, when you get punched on so good that it makes you want to go back to the drawing board, look at him now. It's a lot faster. It's a lot stronger, a lot chippier. It's got some size to him. You know what I'm saying? You saw it last season. He ain't back down. He knew his shoulder was fucked up. He still went out there and gave it everything and amassed 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. So let's not make no bones about this, man. Like, this team is a lot better than what people are giving it credit for. And the Stephen A's and the Dan Orlovskis and this one and that one, anybody who has a bunch of vitriol to speak, like, they claim they know football. Dan Orlovsky, your claim to fame is running out of the end zone. That is your claim to fame. That is your claim to fame. Stephen A., your claim to fame is keeping Dak Prescott's nuts in your mouth. Because it seems like you can't talk about nothing else when it comes to the Cowboys. Do we know what this running game is going to look like? No, we don't. Do we even know what the passing game is going to look like? No, we don't. We don't even know what the defense is going to look like. Cool. I don't want to know until Thursday. I want Vic Fangio to be just as surprised as I am. I want the Eagles defense to be just as surprised as I am. That's what I want. I want these dudes to go out there and show us something we've never seen before with this new regime. I want to see a run game that's so interdimensional. If you're going to go out with a running back by committee, it should be the right running backs for the scheme that you want them to run. If you want edge play, Jadon Blue, Kavontae Turpin, get them out on the edges in space where they can just beast everything. If you're gonna go inside zone, call up Phil Maffa. Oh well, you can't call up Phil Maffa. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders. Honestly, I'm not a Sanders fan. Sorry. Yeah. Listen. I don't know why. It seems like every year since Trayvon Diggs, since Trey Lance, it was, man, Dak better watch his back. This player coming for his job. Even when it was Cooper Rush. Oh man, Cooper Rush just went 5-1, 4-1. That's the type of I like that kind of thing, you know. I like that controversy, the quarterback controversy. I like that. I mean, it is a good problem to have. It does push your one. It does. But to constantly think that someone's going to come in here and Dak is going to lay down, you're out of your damn mind. You're out of your damn mind. Dak don't lay down. Dak lays you down. Trey Lance couldn't take his job. Cooper Rush couldn't take his job. Ben DiNucci couldn't take his job. Joe Milton, who everybody was saying, oh man, Dak better find a realtor. Joe can play. Yet he's overshooting everybody by 15 to 20 yards. Come on, cut it out. We don't need to have that conversation anymore. There's only one quarterback in this league that could probably usurp Dak, and he plays for Kansas City. He plays for Kansas City. He's probably the only dude in the league today to usurp Dak Prescott. This is how crazy it is. Trey Lance can take Justin Herbert's job. That's how good he played in the preseason. He did not give us that type of production in the preseason. It's Max Powell. This bull, he's Randy Johnson on the football field, bro. His slider is 99 miles an hour. Like, his slider is. Like, that's crazy. But I'm glad to see that he calmed it down a bit. I'm hoping that as the season goes on and he's learning more, that Joe Milton can learn to have the control, can understand touch on the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be honest with you. If it wasn't for Joe Milton, Jalen Tolbert wouldn't be on this team. Here's what I mean. Ryan Flournoy got open 99% of the time that he was out there. He didn't get rewarded for how open he was until game 3. He was beating people 2, 3, 4 yards down the field. He was literally beating people by 2 to 3, maybe even 4 yards. That's how much separation there was. And for him not to be rewarded for that with a good ball, he would have had at least 6 touchdowns this preseason. He would have had 6 TDs this preseason if Joe Milton understood touch. Then maybe you can have the conversation. Oh, well, Dak might be a problem. It might be a problem for Dak. Even Trayshawn Holden. Shit, even Jonathan Mingo. And that's it. That was the issue for me this preseason. Is the one thing that I've always harped on is, why is it that my quarterback has to lead the league in tight window completions? Why? There should be no reason why my quarterback has to lead the league in tight window completions. Everybody says it's all on Dak. No, it's not. There's levels to this shit. I can't have my quarterback leading the league in tight window completions, because that tells me my wide receivers are not gaining separation. Unless you're CD Lamb, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're CD Lamb, who I know has sure hands. Unless you're a CD Lamb and you're coming across the middle and it's in a tight window where you have the corner following and you have the linebacker closing in and it's right here, that's the only way I'll accept. That's the only way I'll accept it. It's the only way. Other than that, I can't accept it. Deep passes. Now, I'm with Jalen Tolbert, it's not all bad. It's not all bad with Jalen Tolbert, because he can high point the ball. He makes some great catches. He does. He makes some good catches. He is reliable when it goes to the scramble drill. But if you're asking this man to beat a guy off the line of scrimmage, that's not going to happen. It's part of your tight window completions. Jalen Brooks, he showed up this preseason, but what we've seen from Jalen Brooks is the same thing, somewhat sort of the same thing that we've seen from Jalen Tolbert. Lack of separation, lack of concentration. I don't think Jalen Brooks is as physical as a Ryan Flournoy. I don't think Jalen Brooks is as physical as a Jonathan Mingo. My man, Voch Lombardi, shout out to Voch. He has a thing against redundancies. Now, if you look at CD and George Pickens, there's a There is a redundancy there, but it's slight. It's real slight. We know CD can beat you over the top. We know that. But we also know CD makes most of his hay coming across the middle of the field. And we all know that George Pickens, you throw that ball up 15 yards, you throw that ball up, he's liable to come down with it. Contorted catch and all. You know what I'm saying? And he's a physical wide receiver, but he doesn't have that physical muscular size. You know what I'm saying? He's a thinner guy, you know what I'm saying? But he's strong for his size. Those are slight redundancies. We know that Pickens is your X receiver. Now, look at Ryan Flournoy, 6'2", 6'3", 220. You know what I'm saying? Bigger body. You know what I'm saying? He don't mind getting muscle. He don't mind putting that muscle on a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Look at Jonathan Mingo. Same thing. He'll get physical. He'll definitely get physical with you. Jalen Tolbert, not so much. Not so much. He's not bouncing off of hits. He has no yak ability. He has zero yak ability. But the two physical guys that I just named, not only are they strong and physical with it, they also have yak ability. They have breakaway speed. They do. Good hands, great physicality, and good breakaway speed. That's what I see with this, with that four wide receiver core. And of course, you got Kevontae Turpin, super speedster. I'm not expecting him to get physical, but even he bounces off of hits. He might get brought down 9 times out of 10, but that 10th one, he burned you. Exactly. But with that, Dominique, here's my thing. It's sort of like the George Pickens coming here. George Pickens shook up the room, right? So we all know CD is CD. That's a different conversation. CD is CD. But George Pickens coming here, moved Tolbert down to a 3, moved Flournoy down to a 4. Shake of an argument. Moved Flo off the roster, moved Brooks off the roster. Then Mingo getting injured. Now this is one of the pushbacks I have for Shotty. Exactly. Well, this is one of the pushbacks I have for Shotty about the competition. If it was all about competition, why for the life of me is Jalen Tolbert your 4? Why for the life of me is Jalen Tolbert your 4? I understand he's a 3rd round pick, but he hasn't getting 7 touchdowns last season, and I'm gonna stand on this by proxy because you didn't have a viable number 2. Brandon Cooks was out. So getting 7 touchdowns by proxy, and then I keep hearing, well, he won the Pittsburgh game. No, Dak won the Pittsburgh game. It was called the way it was called. You finally got open. The defender fucked up. The defender was lagging behind. The defender had to run through trash. Okay? So let's get this straight. Okay? You got that by proxy. Ferguson was out or playing injured. That's my see what I mean? We have more pieces than just CD Lamb, George Pickens. Fergie even told you, you can't double everybody. You can't game plan for everybody. You can't. It's impossible. You can't. And Fergie coming back healthy adds another element. So you can run it. I'll grant it. You can run a 3 wide receiver set with Jalen Tolbert. You can run it. But you also have Ferguson out there. Who do you think is going to be targeted first? Jalen Tolbert or Jake Ferguson? I'll wait. I'll answer it for you. Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson will be targeted first and more than Jalen Tolbert. And that's where having this offensive line coach and OC makes it a little bit more better for you as far as the run game, because they're not just coaching up the offensive line. They're also coaching up the tight ends. The tight ends can get in on that. You know what I'm saying? Like Fergie, albeit maybe in the beginning of his career, he wasn't much of a blocker. So then we bring in Schoonmaker, who was more of a blocker. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Then you bring in Span Ford, who made his hay in Minnesota blocking. You know what I'm saying? So, and now Fergie's, stepping his blocking game up. So you can run a 2-3, you can run 13 personnel and have a pretty good run game, depending on who you use. We haven't seen Javonte Williams. We haven't seen Javonte Williams yet. You know what I'm saying? Dominique Pittman, man, I'm so happy you're here. This is what you do, bro. You get one of these. Let me see. Yeah, bam. There we go. Bam. Bam. That's what we get. Everybody's a fucking mod up in this joint. My day ones. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a mod in here. Y'all helping me grow the channel. You know what I'm saying? Just y'all being here. You know what I mean? Word of mouth, check out Hoodie the Bull. You know what I mean? He talk his real. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Dak Owens, always here. You know what I'm saying? JVB Boy, always here. Dominique Pittman, I'm happy to see you. CFT even gave us a little cameo. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it, man. I'm loving this space. I'm really enjoying doing the content creations. You know what I'm saying? Well, I am not worried. That's one part I am not worried about. I'm not too worried about running backs and pass pro. I'm really not too worried about it. Want to get blocked? Don't hurt them too bad. I appreciate you, bro. I mean, I just try to give you my real. You know what I'm saying? Give you my takes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to mirror or mimic other guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to regurgitate everything that you've probably heard before. I'm going to give you my takes. You know what I'm saying? How I see it, how I feel about it. Again, I'm not a film guy. I'm not the offensive or defensive guru. I can't break down what a cut split is. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, watching the other guys and learning from them, that's all it is. Like, and that's helping me grow. You know what I mean? I was talking to Skywalker Steel. He's not too keen on the idea of giving up one of your first for Jonathan Taylor, maybe a 2, maybe a 3. It would be nice if you can get that. You know what I'm saying? But if it was me, if I had no other choice and I really like looking at these running backs, if nothing popped within the next 2 to 3 weeks, yeah, that's the move I'm making. I'm going to go get Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, like Fergie, like Trayvon, like Kenny Clark, like that. This guy adds an element. He's a hard runner. He finds his vision is great. He's an elite running back. That's something we need. If Jerry really wants to field one of the best rosters, that's what you do. And if it means you got to break the bank, break the bank. I would like Bijan. I would like Bijan, but let's be honest. Is Atlanta really going to come off of Bijan? Is Atlanta really going to come off of Bijan? I would love to go get him now. It's a good job. What's the deal with you, bro? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I would like to go get him now. I would have liked to got him a week ago. But unfortunately, I'm not Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think adding a running back to this, adding a very good elite running back to this room is something that's desperately needed. No shade, but I am not big on Breece Hall. I'm not sure about Breece Hall. I think maybe his confidence has been shaken. And exactly, we definitely have the capital. It's not like we don't have the bread. It's not like we don't have the draft picks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really big on Breece Hall. I would have loved to claimed Damian Martinez. I would have loved to claim him because I think he has a bright future, depending on the scheme that he's in. And shit, let's be honest, San Francisco, they get running backs. Those running backs are normally like they end up being very good. They end up being very good because of the scheme that they run in. Jordan Addison. He was really good until injury. Who was that? Isaac Guerendo. Isaac Guerendo could have been better. Davon A. Chain returns to practice squad today. James, what's the other one? James. What's his? Who's the? I know we didn't. I would have loved to. I would have loved to. Who's that other running back down there in Miami? James something or other. I wouldn't mind him, but the thing about Miami is they're no, not James Cook. He's in Buffalo. Um, yeah, that's the thing about Miami. Miami's a track team. They are a track team. It's nothing but speed, speed, speed. They are a track team. You know what I'm saying? As far as their position players. You know what I'm saying? As far as their running backs, wide receivers, you know what I'm saying? They're speed guys. I cannot remember his name. Would y'all go grab Christian Wilkins? Add to this DT room? I would. I would. Somebody might have to take a back seat, and I don't think we'd be too upset about it. I'm saying but yeah, I'd take Christian Wilkins. I'd definitely go grab Christian Wilkins. So tell me, what are y'all hoping for this Thursday? What is it that y'all hope to see this Thursday? That'll give you more confidence in this team moving forward. Ollie Gordon would be a good pick. I like Ollie Gordon. RJ Harvey. Facts, Dacos. Facts. Like, the non-diddlers. Hell yeah, facts, man. 'Cause the weird stuff, man. The weird stuff just, I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, be competitive. If we're gonna lose, at least make it close. Show me that you really wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Sort of like the what was that, 2023 when we lost 25-28? You know what I'm saying? JV, I love you, but we're never going to be able to stop the run. Can we minimize it? Can we contain it? If we go out there and we have another New York Giants game where we hold them to 2.6 yards a carry, hell yeah. If you want to deem that stopping a run, I am all for it. You know what I'm saying? CJ the original, my God, y'all making me want to stay on a little longer now. And we've been on an hour. I'm about to just keep going. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I want to see from this team, what I want to see, I'll go two parts. What I want to see from the offense, I want to see continuity, offensive line. I want to see the continuity. I want to see them not fold. I don't want my offensive line to fold. And I don't think that's going to happen. Let's be honest. They are not going to fold because if you know the guy, Tyler Smith, he's not going to allow it. Cooper Beebe because if you look at it, last season when Cooper Beebe got here, he was playing center for the first time ever in his career. Here's the crazy part. He was really good at the center spot for a rookie. He was really good at the center spot with very little coaching. This year, he has an abundance of coaching. That's going to make it scarier because he has an abundance of coaching. You know what I'm saying? And that goes the same for Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, Nate Thomas, if you will, Terrence Steele. They say they have high hopes for Terrence Steele. Maybe he's going to be better a few years removed from that knee injury. Now, keep in mind, he's the only offensive lineman we had who played 17 games in the past 3 years. Played all 17 games in all 3 years since 2022. He has been the most consistent. Given his shortcomings, he's still been the most consistent. You know what I'm saying? So cut him some slack, give him some grace. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the amount of coaching that we have this year, it's going to make it hopefully that gets his confidence back to where it should be. Exactly. And Rico ran on that Philly defense, albeit not very good, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not sure what happened to Perryon. It might just be a injury. The whole Phil Maffa shoulder injury thing. Yeah, it might be one of those situations, but we shall see. We shall see. If Perryon can get on the field, lower back spasms, oh, he'll be ready. He'll be ready. Perryon gets on that field against the Eagles, dog. I think Perryon is going to be Jalen Carter +1. Because if you look at them, they both have the same scrap. They are not the same player. Make no bones about this. Jalen Carter is Jalen Carter. This is the first we're going to see Perryon Winfrey. He's had some NFL back. He had an NFL background. He had to stay in the NFL. It didn't work out for him. Attitude issues or attitude being problematic. But everybody deserves a chance to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody deserves a chance to grow. Sometimes young men do young men things. They have to grow into a grown man. And I think that's what Perryon has grown into. You know what I mean? He had his shot. He squandered it. He ended up in the USFL or UFL or whatever it is. And he understood that he needed to grow up. So he did. Let's see what we get from him. Let's see what we get out of Perryon Winfrey. And if I'm looking at it correctly, all indicators say this dude's going to be a problem. Not for the Cowboys. He's going to be a problem for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's not a designated to return, but yeah, being on the IR, he'll have to miss 4 games, and if we do not elevate him within those 4 games, then we lose him. We lose out on him for the season. I believe that's how that works. Don't quote me. I'm gonna have to look into that, but I believe that's how it works. But then you have the designated to return guys. You know, your Mingos, and who else was it? It was Peyton Turner. I don't know. Don't get me started on that one. Like, that's a guy I would have cut, honestly. I actually had him on the chopping block, but I'm not the coaches. I don't make the decisions. I'm just a fan, just like you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, James Houston. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray is going to look like. Why Peyton Turner? In all honesty, because I think we have better guys. I'm saying, like, they're looking at him like DeMarcus Lawrence. He plays the run really well, and but hindsight 2020, the fact that Mike is not here anymore, okay, I get it. I get why he's still around. You know what I'm saying? I think he was dealing with a pec. I think he was dealing with a pectoral injury, hence why he went to the IR. Maybe they could use him. Maybe bait. I mean, I don't know why. I'm going to be. I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know why. I don't have that answer. I wish I did, because again, I had him on my chopping block. Like, I don't know. That one is going to bug me until we figure out why. Yes, it does. That's who you're 100% correct. That does belong to Maffa. That does belong to Maffa. You know what I'm saying? I think Maffa showed us enough for us to understand that he is a good running back. He's a big body. He runs with some burst. He runs with anger, and that's what I like about him. Kind of reminds me of Zeke in his earlier years. You know what I'm saying? Not as breakaway, but yeah, runs with anger. He's a big body. You know what I'm saying? That's one that I don't like. You cut you bring in Kenny Clark, but you cut Flournoy because you're bringing in some dude named Teagan or whatever. You're bringing in this guy Teagan when we know optics are everything. We know Miles Sanders ain't it. I think this is. I don't think it was like what you know how some players you could look at them like, oh no, they were just in a bad situation. Jonathan Mingo, you've seen what he can do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was just a bad situation that Miles Sanders was in because people said it before, and that one I don't understand now. We got him back though. We brought him back. He's on the practice squad. With Miles, I don't think it was just Carolina. I think it was Miles Sanders. I honestly think it was Miles Sanders. I think he lost his zeal when the Eagles let him go. I think he lost his zeal when the Eagles traded him. You know what I'm saying? You want me to be honest? That's what I think. Don't quote me. I don't. But if you're looking at it like, I think Malik Davis is better than Miles Sanders. That's not a stretch. I'm sorry, that is not a stretch. I love Malik Davis. I think Malik Davis has a spot on this team, and unfortunately, with the numbers that we have at running back, it's going to make it hard for him to be elevated. But if they are smart, if Shadi is smart, you called the young man, got him signed. 72 hours later, he is now running the ball 7 times for 63 yards, 9 yards a clip. That's somebody you give a chance. Especially if Jadon Blue is not ready to go. Especially if Miles Sanders ain't everything he's cracked up to be. We don't know about Javonte Williams. We don't. We've seen Phil Maffa. Do we know about him in a full NFL regular season game? No, but we know enough to know that he can at least tote the rock. He can do something. If it's schemed up right, he might even be explosive. Same thing goes for Jadon Blue. And that's exactly what it is, man. Like, the previous regime did him dirty. The previous regime did him so dirty. He was better than Rico Dowdle. I'm calling it. He was better than Rico Dowdle. How he didn't get his shot is beyond me. Like, I don't give a damn. It's sort of like the Jerry Jones, Michael Parsons thing. Ego. Well, I'm the coach, and what I say goes. Israel Mukuamu, that one hurts. That one stings. That one stings. Instead, you bring in some dude named Triquez Bridges. I know nothing about. I watched film on him. He's okay. You know what I'm saying? Reddy Stewart, I've seen him. He's all right, but Izzy has length. Izzy has size. Izzy's been here. Izzy knows the tendencies of Philadelphia. We no longer have Andrew Booth. We're good. We no longer have Andrew Booth. If he's back on the practice squad, I'll throw up. But we no longer have Andrew Booth. In no realm of existence, will Andrew Booth be able to beat out Josh Butler, Trayvon Diggs, Savon Rebel, Zion Childress, because Zion showed that he can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if he's just a boundary corner. I don't give a damn. The dude is trash. Like, I'm not going to go that far because you can't get into the league and be trash. He's not good for the system that we are in. He needs a certain system. And I believe that. I believe that. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to talk, you can say the same thing about Mozzie Smith. You can say the same thing about Mozzie Smith. And I think we who was it? Sadiq Charles, we cut so Flournoy can get back on the active roster. I want to know who we're going to slice. Now, I guess I had this conversation a couple of days ago. Zion Childress, Reddy Stewart, Traquez Bridges. We know what Zion Childress can bring us. We've seen it. We see how monstrous he can be. He can get in there. He sticks his hat in there in the run game. He can cover pretty good. Sometimes gets lost, but I mean, everybody. There's a corner in the league who doesn't get beat. Sauce Gardner gets beat. You know what I'm saying? Trayvon Diggs has gotten beat. Patrick Surtain has gotten beat. So there isn't a corner in the league who doesn't get beat. Not at the level of Andrew Booth, but there isn't a corner in the league who doesn't get beat. But he's at least smart enough to learn from his mistakes. And I'm hoping that if in a couple of weeks, after week 1, week 2, maybe week 3, we'll take another look and see. Hopefully, the coaching staff realizes that Zion Childress is the dude that should be out there. Now, that all depends on how healthy Trayvon Diggs is. If he comes back week 1 and he shows no drop off, he shows that he's back to the Trayvon that we know he is. Zion Childress is going to stay where he is. Because that means they're going to end up moving DeRon Bland back inside, and they're going to have Kyrie Elam on the other side. I haven't seen Kyrie Elam play for the Cowboys in a regular season capacity. Yeah, boof. Yeah, because that's exactly what he need to do. You need to go boof somewhere. I haven't seen Kyrie Elam play in a regular season capacity with the Cowboys, so that's an unknown. And that's the beauty of it. We've seen what he's done in training camp. Can that translate? You know what I'm saying? Now you're going up against Smitty and Brown and Jahan Dotson. I mean, Jimmy something or whatever, the 6'6" kid that they got who's not fast enough. I'm just telling you now. I don't care how big he is, how well his hands is. He's no Calvin Johnson. He's no Plexico Burris. So I'm not really worried about that guy. How can we contain the wide receivers and the tight end? Because sometimes, rest assured, sometimes your nickel corner is going to have to cover Dallas Goedert. Sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes that's going to be needed. Tight ends are sometimes bigger and stronger than your corners, but yet they're faster than your linebackers. Well, we're going to dispel that now. Our linebackers are a lot faster than what we're used to having. You know what I'm saying? And if you had a Zion Childress, then your corner is going to be a lot bigger than what we were used to having. No shade to J. Lou. J. Lou was a dog. He was an absolute dog. Gonna miss J. Lou. He was an absolute dog. But we're moving on. We're changing the dynamic of this team. And I like the direction that it's going. Does it come at a cost of a few really good players? Yes, it does. Unfortunately, you can't get better without some heads being chopped. You can't. You can't. There is no way you can be a self-made dude without stepping on somebody. You're gonna have to step on somebody. Did we want it to be Micah? No, of course not. We were all hoping that Micah could be signed. We were all hoping that Jerry wouldn't be so egotistical. We were all hoping that Micah would hold true to his word. See, it's on both sides, not just one. You know what I'm saying? That's what people are missing. Oh, well, Jerry's ego got involved. Yeah, well, Micah's ego got involved too. Micah's ego and his agent's ego got involved too. So that's all there is with that. No shade to Micah. I'm always going to, I love the kid. I love what he did for the Cowboys, but he is no longer a Cowboy. So I don't have to talk about him. I'm not going to talk about him. You're not going to hear me say week 1, damn, man, we really miss Michael Parsons and those 2.5 sacks that he would have got. How do we know How do we know that Marshawn Nealon isn't going to be that guy? How do we know that James Houston won't be that guy? How do we know that 10-plus sack season having last year, Dante Fowler won't be that guy? How do we know? We don't. We don't know. That's the beauty of it. Not only do we not know, neither do they. Neither do they. So guess what? We're all going to have fun figuring this shit out together. On both parts. Yes, you're right. 100%. Man, that shit's lock it up, throw it away, man. What can you do about it? Nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. So let's turn the page. Let's work with what we got. And what we got is some really good talent. A couple of cats who need to learn, albeit on the fly. You know what I'm saying? And you got some veterans here who can teach these guys. That's learning on the fly. Even though Marshawn Nealon, this is his second year, he's still got something to learn. Sam Williams just coming off an injury. He won't be playing. Like, one of his biggest issues for us was the fact that he got penalties as a gunner on special teams. Well, he won't be playing special teams. So that's one piece gone. You know what I'm saying? Now he can concentrate fully on defensive edge, defensive line. That's what he can focus on. And that's all I want his focus is on. I want his focus on being Slam Williams. Not Sam, Slam Williams. That's the focus I want from him. Donovan Ezaraku. Granted, we know what your bag looks like. We know what your bag looks like. I don't want you to go out there and be Micah Parsons. I want you to go out there and be Donovan Ezaraku, the dude from where I work at, Malvern, Pennsylvania, whose peoples was Eagles fans until they denounced them because you over here with us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fuck them pigeons. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. I want Donovan Ezaraku to be him. Donovan Ezaraku. I want James Houston to come in the same way he came in the preseason, putting tackles on their pockets. That's the type of dude I want to see. Fuck them pigeons. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. Kenny Clark, we already know what your resume looks like. Can you bring that same thing here to Dallas? That's what I want to see. I want to see Jay Tawia take bits and pieces from your game and add it to his so he can be just as dominant. Fuck them pigeons. I want Maris Leofau to go out there running around with his head on fire. I want Jack Sanborn to be one of the smartest middle linebackers, if not will linebackers there is. Fuck them pigeons. I want my corners to go out there acting like they shit don't stink and locking shit down. Fuck them pigeons. I want Donovan Wilson to crack the life out of A.J. Brown. Make him think about going up his side. Make Smitty rethink going up that side. No, I don't wish injury on nobody, but if it happens, it happens. Does anybody remember when Donovan Wilson cracked the shit out of Mike Evans? Made him think about life a little bit? Or when Maris Leofau cracked their tight end in Tampa Bay? Made him think about it a little bit? That's the type of intensity I think we're going to have. See ball, get ball. Maintain your gap integrity. Be smart about what you do. Do your job. That's what I want. Fuck them pigeons. And that's where I'm at with it. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody who showed up today. CFT, Dominique Pittman, CJ the Original. I mean, it's a good John. Dak Holmes, JVB Boy. I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. I really do, man. Without y'all, this wouldn't be possible, man. Real talk. And with that being said, it's your boy Hoodie Kush. I holla.